All right, so we are ready to go. So since the last time I made a sculpt, okay, hi Wisdom, how you doing? So since the last time I went live, we sculpted the face. I'm doing good, Wisdom, how you doing? Since the last time we went live, I sculpted the face, and a lot has happened since then. So I've sculpted, or I modeled the body actually. I sculpted the hands, and I also sculpted the feet. So today I'm going to try to model the clothes. I'm going to model the clothes. So yeah, I'll just be here for about an hour and we'll see how that goes. All right, so let me just move this out of the way and we can get started. Before I get started with that, I'll just clean up some things on the body. So for the body of this character, I actually use the box modeling to model the body. So if I go into edit mode, you can actually see I used box modeling to model the body. That's because I didn't want to sculpt the whole body from scratch. Okay, hello Ovio, how you doing? Alright, so I'm just going to adjust some things on the body here. So I want to add a collarbone right here. Just going to go into sculpt mode. I'll adjust this topology just a little bit. And then I'm going to select probably here like this. I'll move this down. And then I'm just going to select these faces right here. And I'm going to insert them with I. And I'm going to use Alt S to extrude them out just a little bit. So what I'm trying to do here is to model in the collarbone. This doesn't look good right now. We're going to make it look good soon. Hello everyone in the chat. I hope like everything is working fine and you can hear me clearly. If you can hear me clearly, just thumbs up in the chat. All right. I'm going to move this up here and I'm going to come up here to symmetrize the model, and I'm just going to bring this closer to Is the stream still working well? I don't know right now. If you can hear me, just say hi. Okay, and I'm just going to continue. I'm not sure if you guys can hear me properly. Okay, Wisdom, you can hear me. All right, that's good. Okay, so I'm just going to continue on. I'm going to use the grab brush to pull this closer here. And I think something like that, maybe not too high. I'm just going to bring this down here. And I'm also going to fix up the topology around here. So I'm just going to select this edge. I'll bring it down. These ones too, I'll bring them down. Also these ones, I'll bring them down. Okay, and I'm going to delete this face right here. Okay, my connection is not strong. Let me check. It's probably OBS setting. I changed the setting on OBS, so let me change that right now. Okay, so I just changed the setting. If it's working better, please let me know. All right, so I'm just going to select these faces X, and I'm going to delete this face right here, and then I'm going to add 2 extra records to connect with these ones. So I'll just add in 2 extra records here, and then I'm going to select this face X, delete. Also do the same over here, X, and delete this face. And you can fill up this face. I'm going to press F here to fill up this face. Face right. Okay. And I'm just going to pull this back, pull this one back too. And I'm going to use the slide relax brush, and we need to mirror this over to the other side. I'll just use the symmetrize function and symmetrize this over to the other side. And then I'm going to relax this with the relax slide brush. So something like this. I'll just use other brushes to make this look nicer. Okay, so something like this could work. I'm going to bring this closer to each other. I'll just put this into a nicer shape, and then I'll use the slide relax brush to smooth out the topology right here. And I'll also make sure that the topology looks good from this side. Also smooth out the backs to make it look nice. Okay, I'm also going to adjust the back, make it fit to the neck just a bit. Okay, so it's better now. All right, hi, hello Igor, hello Ada, how's it going? Okay, so I'm just going to bring this down, and if I turn back on subdivision, it should look nice. Yeah, I think this looks okay for now. I'll still come back to adjust it later on. Okay, so something like this, it's fine. Right, and now we can start to work on the dress. So this is the dress I want to work on, and should be simple enough to do. Right, so I'll just get started with it. I'm also going to hide the topology of the character that I did, and I'm going to mirror this hand over. Okay, I'm going to Shift A. No, actually, I would go into edit mode. I will select this loop here. Also select this loop here. H to hide them. Let me actually turn on screen cast keys so I can see what I'm pressing. H to hide them. I'll select this one with L on hide them. And now we can Shift D to duplicate this. So this is going to be the base for our dress. And I want to separate this mesh now. P, and I'm going to separate this by selection. Go back into object mode, and I can get rid of the subdivision surface modifier on this one. And we're going to edit mode, Alt S to scale it up just a little bit. Okay, love the background music. Okay, yeah, I also added in background music this time around. Nice, working better now. Okay, so everything is working better. Okay, that's fine, thank God. All right, now we can continue. I'm going to remove the vertex colors from this, and then I'm going to add the viewport display color. I'm going to choose the red color just like the dress from the reference here. And we don't need this much topology for the chest area, so I'm just going to select these ones, and I'm going to delete these faces. I can also delete you somewhere around here. I'll delete these ones, and just so that I don't have to like do it on the other side, I'll also add in a mirror modifier. I'm just going to use the auto mirror add-on, and if you press this button, it will automatically add in a mirror modifier for you. It will also delete the other side for you, so it will just do it automatically. Auto mirror add-on is the name of the add-on. And then I'm also going to delete these faces too. Yes, and I'll just select this one, this edge right here, E, and I'll extrude it to the middle, something like this, and we can start to connect these ones. I'll add in 2 loop cuts here. I'll select this one, press F to fill it in. I'll also select here F, and I'll just fill that face in. We need 1 more loop cut here, so I'll just add in 1 here, and I'll fill that face in with F. Okay, and I'll go into sculpt mode, and I will just sculpt this part of the dress like this. Right, so now we need to cover this part up, and the way we are going to do that, I'll just select this edge here, extrude it to the middle, GX to move it to the middle. I'll bring it forward a bit, add in 1 extra loop cut right here, Alt S, now scale it up. And also, if you guys have any questions while I'm working, you can always ask them, and I'll answer the questions from time to time. All right, I'm going to move this right here, GG to move this backwards, or Alt S to scale it up a little bit. And so this will match with this, so we need 2 more loop cuts here. So I'm going to add 2 loop cuts right there, and then I'm just going to fill these faces in. All right, let's close up the bottom too. I think these faces here are too much, so I'm just going to delete this one, delete this face, X to delete this face, and I'm going to rotate this. I'm going to extrude it to the middle, and I'll move this out like so. And then I'm going to fill in these faces. We need 1 more loop cut here, so I'm going to add 1 more loop cut here. Okay, what time? Nico is asking, what time you come live every day? So I don't come live every day. So I'm just, last week was the last time I went live, and I just thought I'll be doing it every Wednesday, this same time, at the same time every Wednesday. So I'll try to do it as much as I can. Every Wednesday, I'll try to do a live stream. Okay. And then these faces right here, we can also fill them in, and it doesn't line up. I'll just add, we can select this loop here, Ctrl X to dissolve it, and then we can fill in this face, and it still doesn't line up. We can just select these ones, and GG, I'm going to slide them up, and now we can merge those vertices. Alright, we can go into sculpt mode. I'm just going to relax the topology around this area, and I also smooth out the topology around here. To use the inflate brush, I'm just going to inflate this part, so you can see all the brushes I'm using right here. Okay, so that is the basic dress. So from here we can just extrude downwards. I'm also just going to smooth this just a little bit so that the shape looks nicer. Okay, so now we can extrude downwards for the bottom of the dress. So I do plan to add cloth simulation to this cloth. So I'm just going to model it in with very basic modeling. Then when I get to the stage of adding cloth simulation, I'll figure out how I'm going to do this, because I'm going to put this character in this pose. Just in case you didn't watch the last video, this is like the character I want to create. I want to create this scene inside of Blender. I might make it a small animation. I don't know yet, probably, but I want to make this character just the way it is. So yeah, I'm going to make this character like this, and I'm just going to use basic modeling for the clothes for now, and then when I get onto the cloth modeling stage, I'll figure that out. Alright, I'm going to go back into edit mode. I'll select this face, these faces here, and then we can extrude them downwards. Before we start extruding, I'll just smooth out this area here, bring it out a little bit. Also this back area, bring it out and smooth it out. Okay, something like this. And I'm just going to bring this up, this one to out of the body so that it doesn't intersect with the body, and then I'll smooth it out. Okay, something like this. And then I'm going to select this edge. On the side view, I'm going to bring this down. I'll rotate it down like this. SZ to scale it on the Z axis by 0 so that it makes it flat. And then I'll just scale this out and I'll bring this down. So somewhere around the knee here. Somewhere around here should be fine. Then you can add in extra loop cuts to fit the body. I'll also make sure this looks good from the side view. SY to scale it down on the side view. Something like this. And then I'm going to add, okay, so there are some questions. Which do you like the most, ZBrush or Blender? I don't like ZBrush, so Blender. Blender is the only answer to that question. Alright, when you say, Kelly is asking, when you say relax brush, do you mean the smooth brush? No, I don't mean the smooth brush. In sculpt mode, there's this brush called the relax brush, the slide relax brush. So I'm just going to show it to you here. If I turn on the names, there's this brush called, this one, relax slide brush. And what this brush does, I'll turn off the subdivision here. So what this brush does, it slides or it will relax your topology in the way you want it to. So if you hold down shift, it's going to relax, it's going to smooth out the topology on your character. And then if you just move it normally, it's going to move the topology of your character. But it won't, what this brush does, it won't change the volumes. So it will retain the volume of your character. So it's the relax slide brush I was talking about. Okay, I'm going to take this back down. Alright, and I'm going to select the clothes. You can go back to continue working on the clothes. And I see that when we scaled here, some of the vertices merged at the middle. Maybe this ever happens when you're using the mirror modifier. You can just turn off clipping and then slide this one out, or probably it's the other one. You can select that one, slide it out, GX, okay, not that one, GX to move it out. Still not moving out. Okay, make sure to turn off X symmetry too in edit mode. So I'm just going to turn off X symmetry, then I'm going to move this out. So now we should work. I'm going to turn this back on, and I'll turn back on the clipping on the mirror modifier. Then I'll just select these loops here. I'll right click, and I'm using the loop tools add-on for this, so you can enable this one inside of Blender. I'm going to relax these loops, and I'll just press Shift R to repeat my action so that it does a couple of times. So something like that should be fine. Then we can add in some extra loop cuts here. Alt S to scale this out. I'll just bring this one up, and I'll just rotate this to follow the shape of the body, so something like this. And I can also relax this one. So I've added that function to my quick favorite, so I can just easily select it from my quick favorites. Shift R to relax it, G and X to move this out. Okay, something like that. And I'm going to add another loop cut here. Alt S to scale this, and then from the side view I'm going to bring this out like so. And right now the hand is kind of in the way, so to hide the hands I'm going to use the shortcut Alt B, and then I'm going to create a viewport mask just like this. And now the hand doesn't obstruct anymore, so I'm just going to rotate this. Now bring this up here. Right, so we need to smooth out the geometry, so I'm just going to go into sculpt mode, and this time I'm using the sculpt brush, and I'm just going to smooth this out. I'll hold down shift, and I'm just going to smooth this out. Okay, so something like this. You can smooth out the geometry at this side. We need to add in a lot more geometry. So I'm just going to go into edit mode, Ctrl R. I'm going to drop this right here. I'm going to create a new loop cut right here. Alt S to scale it up a little bit, and then I'll move it from the side view. S to scale it down. Okay, still need to add more loop cuts. So add in one right here. Alt S to scale it up. Add in one here. Alt S to scale it up. And Alt S to scale this one up too. Okay, I'm going to rotate this like so. And then we definitely need to relax the geometry at the back. I'll just add in some extra edge loops. Now we can go into sculpt mode, and then I'm just going to pull this out, and then I can use the relax slide brush. I'm just going to relax the geometry or the topology. You can also smooth this out. I'm going to apply the mirror modifier, because when the mirror modifier is active, it just like does this weird thing at the middle. So I'm just going to apply it for now and make sure symmetry is turned on, and then I'm just going to relax this well. Okay, I'm also going to relax this other side, and then I'll use the grab brush, and then I'll just pull this out like so. Make sure it's not intersecting with the body. Okay, there's some other questions here. The format says, thank you, your videos have helped me master my craft. Thank you for watching the videos. And Tristan is asking, is this character for a game? Oh, no, this character is not for a game. This character is just a personal project. I'll probably not use it to do anything. It's just be on my computer, so I don't know. Probably can share it to you guys if you want, but I don't know about that yet. Alright, I'm going to continue on. I'm going to, if you want me to share the file, just indicate in the chat. Okay, I'm going to sculpt this like so, and then I'm going to use the relax slide, and I'm just going to relax the geometry. Then you can also use the grab brush while holding down shift to switch to the smooth brush. I'm going to relax this, and I'll just use the grab brush, make sure it's not intersecting through the mesh, through the object, through the character, and something like this looks fine for now. I think the dress needs to be much more longer, so I'm just going to extend this down a little bit more. I'm going to extrude this down, and I'll scale it right here. I'm also adding just a couple extra loops, and then I'll use the slide relax brush, and then I'll relax the geometry at the front and at the back. I'll also smooth this out, and then I'm going to inflate this. Okay, and I will also inflate this side, I'm just taking a look at the geometry, making sure it looks nice. And then yeah, somewhere around here should be fine for this dress. And when I get to start doing the clothes simulation, this geometry should work just fine for the clothes simulation. So let's work on the sleeves right now. I'm going to do the same thing that we did for the character. I'm going to select the arms, the body. I'm going to go into edit mode, and then I'll just select this geometry. Okay, we can just select this one, hide it, select this one, hide it, and then I'm going to select this middle with L and Alt H to unhide the other ones. And there's a much quicker way to actually do that. Okay, I'll just show you the quicker way. You can select this loop here, and we can select this loop here, and I believe you go under select and you select loops. Yeah, select loop inner region. Yeah, that's the much quicker way of doing it. And then Shift D, I'm going to duplicate this. Alt S, I'm going to scale it up a little bit, or before I scale it up, I'll just separate this mesh. P, and I'm going to separate this from selection. And if I can find which one it is, yeah, this one. I'm going to scale it up. I'm going to copy this color from the dress, Ctrl C to copy this color. Then I'm going to paste it here. The color isn't showing up because it has a color attribute, so I'm going to remove this from here. Okay, so something like this is fine. I'm going to go into edit mode. I'll scale this up a little bit. Okay, Tristan is asking, but you're still going to rig the figure, right? Yeah, I'm still going to rig it. Yeah, I'm going to rig it to be able to put it in this pose. Yeah, and then I'm going to mirror this over to the other side, and we can remove the subdivision surface modifier of this. I'm going to remove this. I'm going to mirror this to the other side. Mirror, and this is looking nice. So you might wonder why, if this has ever happened to you, like you zoom out a little bit and like this is happening. It's probably because the scale of your character is a bit too much, is a bit too big. So this is the default cube, and the default cube is 2 meters long, and right now the character is about like times 4 of that. So this is happening because the scale of the character is too big. I'm going to reduce this later on, but just to stop seeing that, you can go up to clip stats. Just go to the end panel, and under view you can change the, I believe, the clip stats. Yes, you can change this to a higher value. So I'll just take this to 1, and then that should stop for now. Right, I'm going to delete this cube, it's not needed right now. And the sleeves go all the way to the sleeves from the reference go all the way to the palms. So I'm just going to select these ones, go into edit mode. I'm going to, or I should actually have, I'm going to delete this actually. I'm just going to select these ones, H to hide, L to select this one, Alt H to hide, and Shift D. I'm going to separate this with P, and okay, I'm also going to copy, paste that color here, and then I'm going to remove the color attributes, and in edit mode, Alt S, I'll just scale this above the character just a little bit. Okay, so now I can select this edge here, and E and S to scale it up a little bit. E and S, scale it up. I'm going to move this here. Okay, make sure also from this view like it's on the palm. Okay, S, scale this up. I'm going to move this here. Alt S to scale this, and I'm going to edit mode, and I'm going to smooth this. I'm going to put this into shape, something like this. I'm going to smooth out these parts. I'm just going to edit mode, select these faces here, rotate them, and I'll move them up. And I will also select this one, Alt S, to bring it out a little bit. Also scale this one with Alt S, something like that. And then I'm going to smooth this out. Okay, so Kelly said I should share. It's the only one, so more people ask, I'll definitely share it. Alright, I'm going to relax this brush. I'm going to relax this geometry with the relax slide brush. And then I'm just going to move this here. And then I'm going to inflate this out. Okay, so something like this. And then I'm also going to move this over to the other side. I'm going to fix up the geometry here. Okay, this looks nice right now. Yeah, I like the way that's looking. So all the details on the dress, I'm still going to add them. I'll do that now. I'll add it with the multi resolution modifier. But before I start to do that, I'll model in this part of the dress. And let's see how we could model that in. I think I'll delete this part of the. I'll just bring this down just a little bit. Okay, and then from the sleeves, I will select these faces, probably to somewhere here. Select these faces, and then Shift D to duplicate. I'll also separate this one into its own object. Select it, and I'll scale it up with Alt S a little bit. And I'm going to E to extrude this out. Okay, so make sure the clipping is turned on the mill modifier, and I'll move this above the subdivision surface. And GX, I'll move it to the middle, and then I'll just bring this out. Also from the side view, I'll bring this out. Okay, something like this. I think I'll make it longer. GG. I'll press G twice and then C to extend. Okay, and then I'm going to Control R, adding another loop cut here, and I'm going to sculpt mode, and I'll just sculpt this in with the grab brush. And then I'll move this out, I'll move this part out. I'll just sculpt this into a nicer shape with the grab brush. And also the same thing for the back. I'll select this loop here, E to extrude it, and I'll move it to the center. GY, I'll move it backwards, and I'm going to rotate this. GY, I'll also move this backwards. Okay, that's looking nice. I'll slide this loop here, and then we can add probably 2 loop cuts here. Okay, I'll just add in 2, yeah, and then I'll slide this one back. I'm going to use the relax slide brush. I'm going to smooth out the geometry here. I'll also smooth out this side with the normal smooth brush. Okay, and then I'll add in probably 3 loop cuts here. Alt S to scale them up, and from the side view, I'm going to rotate this like so. I'll also scale this side up with Alt S. Then I'm going to move this forward. Okay, something like this. Okay, this is what the dress is going to look like. Yeah, something like this. Yeah, I think this dress looks really nice. I'm going to use the grab brush and I'm just going to pull this out just to make sure it's not intersecting. And I'm going to smooth this out. I'll also bring this up, and I'm just making the geometry look nicer. I'll make this one cover the chest a lot more. And I'll also bring this down, and I can bring this down too. Okay, also do the same at the back. I'll bring this down. I'll just make the shape nicer overall at the back. Okay, I think this looks nice, and this is what the dress is, more or less the dress done. You don't need to do much more than that. I'll just adjust the arms a little bit. We're still going to add detail. I'll do that with the multi-resolution modifier. And but for the base, I think this looks good. So I'm just going to save this file. Right. And now we can start adding in more detail to this. Okay, before that, let me answer some questions here. Okay, so Kofi said I should share. Arise, hello Arise. And Kofi is also asking, how long have you been a 3D character artist? So I've been a character artist since I started making characters since 2020. 2020, yeah, when the pandemic hit, so 2020. But I found Blender a little earlier than that, 2019. But I started making characters in 2020. Okay, hello Seed, how you doing? So now I'm going to select, let's start with this dress here. I'm going to just scale it up a little bit. Okay, and then I'm going to add the multi-resolution modifier to this, and I'm going to subdivide it, let's say 2 times. I'm going to edit mode, and I'll see what this is looking like. So I'm just going to use the draw brush. Okay, we definitely need more geometry. I'm going to subdivide this one more time, and we still need one more geometry. So I'm just going to take that up to 4. Okay, so yeah, we can start sculpting the folds on the side of the clothes. I'm going to smooth this out just a little bit with the smooth brush. Also smooth out this back. I'll add in some volume here. I don't like these dents at the back, so I'll just use the clay shapes brush. I'll add in some volume there, and then I'll smooth this out. Smooth this out. Alright, and I'm just going to isolate this with slash on the keyboard. Also going to smooth this side out, and also this side. Right, so for the folds on the dress, I'm going to use the draw brush. Actually, should use the draw sharp brush instead. So I'm going to hold down Control, and I'm going to turn off asymmetry. I'm just going to start marking out the folds on the side of the dress. Holding down Control. I'll actually just change this to the plus. Okay, so something like this. I'll be a bit random about it for now, then I'll come in and detail it later. So on the side, I'm going to just mark out folds like this. Okay, and then I'm going to smooth out where the folds end. something like that. I would use the draw sharp and I'll just go over this side of the dress like this. Okay. Something like this. I'll smooth out these parts here, and I believe you can also add some folds to the back. I'm going to add in one here like this. I'll hold down Control to dig in. Okay. So adding folds, you just have to experiment with it to make it look nice. So something like this, and I'm going to hold down Control to mark out this part here, and then I'm just going to smooth it out. Okay, I'm going to also mark out folds here. I'll switch back to the crease polish. I'll just switch back to the draw sharp. And then I'm going to mark this side out like this. Okay, definitely need more folds here, more smaller folds. So I'll just reduce the size of the draw sharp brush, and then I'm just going to mark in more folds. Something like this, looking good. Let me move over to the other side for now. I'll just add in some more folds here. Yes, and then I'll add in some more here. I'll hold down Control to keep this side in. Something like this. Looks good for now, but we can make it even better. And we're going to mark this. I'll hold down Control. I'll just crease in with the inside of the code. Something like that. I'll work on this side a bit. Something like that, and I'll just be rough about it right now. Then I'll smooth it out, and then I'm going to use the crease polish brush. I'm just going to mark. I'll make the crease a lot more sharper. The crease polish brush. I'll go back to the smooth, to the, what's this brush called? The draw brush. The draw sharp brush, and we're going to smooth out this. Okay, and then I'm also going to hold down, use the crease polish brush, and I'll do this like this. Okay, so this is the basis of the cloth folds. You need to work on it a lot more, but I'll just leave this right now, and I'll work on the other two parts of the clothes. So on the sleeves and on the what's this thing called? I'm not sure what it's called, on this part of the dress. Okay, so I'm going to select this object. I will actually apply the new modifier and get rid of the subdivision surface modifier. Okay, let me take a look at the chart here. Toby man, sir, cook a lot. And so Toby man also said good morning. Good morning, how you doing? So actually, what's the time where you guys at now? It's currently 11:46 a.m. while I'm streaming. So yeah. Okay. I will take this back to take the viewport levels back to 4. And I'm going to sculpt some more details on this side, just a little bit. And I'm going to use the draw sharp brush. I'm going to draw this out. Okay, so something like this. Yeah, I like how sharp this piece is here. Okay, it is Tobyman said I'm in Atlantic, Canada, so it's 7:46. Wow, that's very early. Kofi K is 10:46 a.m. I believe, are you Ghanaian from your name? Kofi, are you Ghanaian? And Tobyman he said this sculpt looks amazing, can't wait to see the final result. Okay, yeah, the final result. Hopefully I should be done with this character by next week, probably. I'm not sure. But for this character, I'm trying to make, like, I'll probably be making an animation, so just something small like this. I've not done that before, so we see how it goes. Maybe by next week I might be done. I'm not sure yet. But yeah, you definitely see it. You definitely see the final results on my Instagram. So if you don't follow me on Instagram, the handle is Kenny'sArts_. So yeah, check that out. Okay, so Kofi is a Ghanaian. So cheers, man. You are my brother from another mother. I'm Nigerian myself. Okay, Sid is asking, teach us box modeling, please. Yeah, so I'm going to make a video about it at some point. I don't know when, but definitely I'll teach you box modeling. Don't worry about it. Okay, I'm going to go back to the sleeves. I'm going to add the multi-resolution modifier. And then I'm going to subdivide this, and I also just turn back on the subdivision on the character, and I'm going to subdivide this again. Okay, so this should be enough. Okay, Kofi is asking, will you do the animation part live? I'm not sure. I don't know when I will get to the animation. If I get to animation next week, Wednesday, by the same time, then definitely I will do the animation live. And I don't even know how to animate yet, but I will learn for this project. But it's just a small animation. The character is just rocking back and forward just a little bit, and then I'll make the waves on the water. So it should be fairly easy to do. So we'll see how that goes, probably. Okay, so Tobyman, it's kind of funny hearing you say so and so since I get the part of reading the comments out loud to let them know what you are replying, but at times or saying the person's name. Okay. Sid. Okay, I get. No problem. I will take that correction. Okay, I'll take that correction. Can we do a walk cycle? Okay, see this accent. Can we do a walk cycle? I'm going to. This character is not yet rigged right now, so we can't do it right now. But I still don't even know how to animate a walk cycle, so that won't go very well. But let's see. I'm not yet sure, but let's see. And I'll go into sculpt mode. I'll go back to the character. I'll go into sculpt mode on the hands, and then G. I'm going to use the grab brush, and I'll just pull this out of the hand so that it's not intersecting. And then I'm also going to pull this down. I'm also going to pull this down just to make it rest on the surface of the sculpt. And then I'm going to bring this out. Right, so exactly the same thing that we did, exactly the same way we made folds on the dress, we're going to also make them on the sleeves. So for the sleeves, it should be easier. I'm going to bring this down, and I'm going to use the draw sharp brush again. So just going to select it from here. Then it's a small size here. You just go over the sleeve like this. Something like this. And let me actually take a look at the reference to see how it is. Okay, so there are not much folds on the sleeves, just at the joints and right here. So I will undo some of that, just smooth them out. Then I'll add in folds where the clothes would normally bend. I'll use the draw sharp brush. I'll just add in some folds right here. And I'll also add in some folds right here. Something like this. Okay, Tobima, maybe just do a basic I do loop. Okay, maybe I will. I don't know yet, but this character is not yet rigged. So yeah, when we rig this character, then we'll see if you can do a I do animation loop. Okay, like mostly a single pose, just movement and blink. Let's see how it goes. When we get to that stage, you see how it goes. Hopefully I do it on stream. Yeah. Okay, so I'll go back to adding in the cloth folds on the sleeves. Pull this out, make sure it's not intersecting with the character, and this should be fine for the sleeves. I'll add more folds on the sleeves. Yeah, something like this is going to work. I'll just adjust this. I'll use the draw sharp brush, and I'll just add more folds right here. Then I'll just smooth it out. Okay, something like this is going to look good. Let me see if I can change the matte cap. Yeah, no, I'm going to use the other one. Okay, and finally, the last piece of the cloth before I add the multi resolution modifier. I'm just going to adjust this a little bit. Okay, Kofi, can you later show that character you made getting down from the stairs? Yeah, I can show it, but what exactly do you want to see? But I can know why I'm opening it up. Yeah, I can show you that after this. Okay, and then I'm just going to adjust this part of the clothes. And you can apply the new modifier. I'll get rid of the subdivision surface modifier, and I'll just smooth out the geometry here just a little bit. I'll also use the relax slide brush and also smooth out the geometry. and I'm going to pull this out. Just make sure it has a nice, I just want to make sure it has a nice shape before I add in the mortar radius modifier. Okay, I'm actually just noticing the comments. SD, like X and D. Okay, I was calling you seed. Okay, your name is XD or SD. Okay, cool. I'll put that. I'll keep that in my mind for next time. Okay, coffee. I don't know. It looks good from the tutorial you made with it. Okay, I'll open it so that I can see it. And I'm actually making a breakdown of that character. The video is going to be up this Sunday, same time I release video. So yeah, I'll make down a breakdown of how I'm making a breakdown of how I made the whole character from start to finish. So yeah, it should be up this Sunday. But I'll open up that file just once I'm done with the clothes here. So I'm going to add a multi-resolution modifier. I'm going to subdivide this a couple of times. 1, 2, 3. 3 should be fine. Let me see what that looks like. Okay, I'm just going to subdivide it another one. Okay. And actually, I'm going to remove the subdivision surface, and I just want this part of the cloth to come closer to the body. So I'm just going to use a grab brush. I'm going to pull this in. It's a tiny bit. Okay, and then I'll go back and add the multi-resolution modifier, and then I'll subdivide this again 4 times. Right, and on this part of the clothes there's just mostly folds here like this, so I'm going to use the draw sharp brush again, and I'm just going to add in some folds. And hold down Control to mark out the folds. So something like this should be fine. When we eventually rig and start to animate or pose this character, I know that this is going to break a lot, so I'll probably still adjust this mesh in the future, but for now this is okay. And I'm just going to add in some folds here. I'll turn off asymmetry and just add in just a couple of folds right here. And hold down Control to crease in this part. Then I'll just smooth it out. Okay, so something like this. I'll also do the same at the back. I'll use the draw sharp brush and just add in some folds. Something like this. Then I'll just move this out. Okay, so this is looking good, looking a bit nice. There are still a lot you can do to improve this, but yeah, I think I'm done with the clothes for now. and it's actually 1 hour since we started the stream, and so my time is up. Before I go, I'll just show you the file, and I think this fits a bit too long. Yes, I'm going to go into edit mode, and also because I have the topology, I'll select the retopologized mesh. I'll just select the sculpt, and I'll just select these ones right here. Okay, Blender is freezing on me. Hopefully Blender doesn't crash right now. Okay, and SY, I'm going to scale this one down, and I'll just move it back a bit. Okay, something like that could work. Hello Genesis, how you doing? Alright, and this is mostly for the clothes. I will definitely have to work a lot more on the folds to make them look a lot more nicer, but for the beginning stage, yeah, this is fine. All right, so that is all for today's stream. Before I go, let me open up the other file. I'll make sure to save this one, and the next things I think I'll start doing on this character actually is the hair. So I will try to make braids like these. I will make braids like this for this character, and hopefully it should go well. So yeah, we'll see how that goes. And let me open up the file for you guys to see, the other file for you guys to see. I'm just going to open that up. Okay, all right, here is the file, the last character I made. So yeah, what would you like to know about this one? Yeah, it's a really nice character, and I think I can go into rendered mode. Hopefully the stream is still working well. Just like I adjusted something here. I'm going to select the principled PSDF, and this is what it looks like in rendered mode. Don't worry about this stuff here. It's just the collision mesh for the cloth, so I can hide that. And this is what the mesh looks like. Okay, so what would you like to know about this scene? Let me break down the shader. So there's a lot going on in the shader. I'll take this back to solid mode. There's a lot going on in the shader, the shading. So I'm using a lot of procedural shading to make the textures and the colors look nice. So I'm just going to probably break it down. Okay, so I'll go into rendered mode, and yeah, so from here I'm using the noise texture mixing with the Voronoi texture, and I'm using that to add this one right here. I'm using it to add some, okay, this is for the freckles, so I'm just adding that to the skin color, and then I'm adding some freckles on the skin. So noise plus Voronoi. Let me close this one so you guys can actually see this. So noise texture plus Voronoi. I'm mixing it in with the linear lights and also a colorant. And this mask is going to create freckles on the face. So there's a lot going on here, but this, let me show you the main color, the main vertex colors that I use. So for this, for most of my characters, when I'm working on personal projects, I don't use texture painting. I just use vertex paint instead, because it's easier to use. So I'm just trying to find where it is. Yeah, so this one right here, skin color. So this is the skin color, and then I just painted this with peak vertex paint. You can even see some errors here. So I just use peak vertex painting, and then I'm using a lot of procedural shading to enhance the look of the textures. So right here I used a Voron texture with a noise texture to add in some details on the lips, and I mixed that in with the skin color. Then I also went ahead and mixed in a soft light. So this trick is really cool. When you use the layer weight node, mix it in with a soft light, it just makes the shading or the colors look a bit nice. So this is the default, and this is with the layer weight node. So you can mix your skin shader with a layer weight just like this, and use a soft light blending mode to mix them in, and it always just looks nice. Right. So, and yeah, for the roughness and for the bump on the skin, I used just a basic noise texture, and it looks nice. Yeah, this looks nice. And I'll just unhide every other thing. And yeah, this is what the character looks like. Okay, there are some comments. Kofi is asking, geometry nodes looks daunting. Any advice for beginners? I myself don't know much of geometry nodes. Actually, on this character, I used geometry nodes to do something, and the way I did this is just a very small new setup. I don't know how to do any of this. So what I did was I asked ChatGPT. I told it, like, I want to scatter stones like this. So these stones on the character is scattered with geometry nodes. And then I just asked ChatGPT, how do I scatter the stones? And it told me add in a distribute. I knew this one, but where I didn't know was how to like align the rotation of the stones with the dress. I'm just going to isolate this dress here. So I didn't know how to align the stones with the dress, and just told me to add in the align dollar to vector node, and also to plug in the rotation into here, and just told me a couple of things, and also the size of the stones is reducing from top to bottom. So it told me to use a separate XYZ compare. So you can just use ChatGPT, to be honest. If there's anything that you're finding that is difficult, just ask ChatGPT to tell you what to do, and then with time you'll be able to memorize these things and you'll be able to know them offhand. So yeah. Another question, is it better to use texture painting or to use a procedural shading like geometry nodes? Oh, sorry. Is it better to use texture painting or use procedural shading like geo nodes? Okay, sorry, I think what I meant was, yeah, the shader. Okay, so is it better to use texture? It's not better, it's just I'll recommend that you mix the both of them together. You can mix the both of them together, use the both of them. If you're using texture painting, you can complement it with procedural shading. So just use the both of them together. Okay, so that is all for this stream. Any other questions before I go? Okay, W stream. All right, if there are no other questions, I'll see you guys next week, Wednesday. And let me wait, it's like there are more questions. Okay, without any further questions, I'm going to end the live stream here, and I'll see you guys next week Wednesday. All right, cheers.